så att säga, den sitter flotta i färdigklar och hittar papper. Meter på meter. Ja, det där är ja, då är det ju detta. Det här är båten, då går under den här salthaltiga grejer som man lägger sig i salthaltiga. Jag tänkte man nästan kustfri. Tro att man inte är trådlöst. Det finns inte ett trådlöst system som fungerar i vattnet. Men de håller på med fysik. Efter den så får du så att säga, den sitter flotta i färdigklar och hittar papper. Meter på meter. Ja, det där är frekvensområden och folksändare så upprepar det. Till slut finner de varandra på något sätt. Efter den så får du så att säga, den sitter flotta i färdigklar och hittar papper. Meter på meter. Ja, det där är ja, då är det ju detta. Det här är båten, då går under den här salthaltiga grejer som man lägger sig i salthaltiga. Jag tänkte man nästan kustfri. Tro att man inte är trådlöst. Det finns inte ett trådlöst system som fungerar i vattnet. Men de håller på med fysik. Efter den så får du så att säga, den sitter flotta i färdigklar och hittar papper. Meter på meter. Ja, det där är frekvensområden och folksändare så upprepar det. Till slut finner de varandra på något sätt. Efter den så får du så att säga, den sitter flotta i färdigklar och hittar papper. Meter på meter. Ja, det där är ja, då är det ju detta. Det här är båten, då går under den här salthaltiga grejer som man lägger sig i salthaltiga. Jag tänkte man nästan kustfri. Tro att man inte är trådlöst. Det finns inte ett trådlöst system som fungerar i vattnet. Men de håller på med fysik. Efter den så får du så att säga, den sitter flotta i färdigklar och hittar papper. Meter på meter. Ja, det där är frekvensområden och folksändare så upprepar det. Till slut finner de varandra på något sätt. Efter den så får du så att säga, den sitter flotta i färdigklar och hittar papper. Meter på meter. Ja, det där är ja, då är det ju detta. Det här är båten, då går under den här salthaltiga grejer som så att säga, den sektorn flottan är särneutral. Och skyltar, papper. Meter för meter. Ja, det där är... Ja, då är det ju detta. Jag tänkte man måste tro att man inte är trådlöst. Det finns inte ett trådlöst system som fungerar i vattnet. Men de håller på att få så. Efter en tid så får du så att säga den sektorn flottan är särneutral. Och skyltar, papper. Meter för meter. Ja, det där är... Konferensområden och två kända mottagare. Så upprepar det. Till slut så finner de varandra på något sätt. Snabbt som man får. Efter en tid så får du så att säga den sektorn flottan är särneutral. Och skyltar, papper. Meter för meter. Ja, det där är... Ja, då är det ju detta. Jag tänkte man måste tro att man inte är trådlöst. Det finns inte ett trådlöst system som fungerar i vattnet. Men de håller på att få så. Efter en tid så får du så att säga den sektorn flottan är särneutral. Och skyltar, papper. Meter för meter. Ja, det där är...
Hello and welcome everybody to it again. Coming right up. We'll talk about...
All right, let me take it. So Discord's having a bit of issues. Just right now, we were both like logged out of Discord. Not logged out, but like it was bad. The call, it was really bad. So Frick is trying not to lose it. Frick, all right, try it again. Try again. You're not. It's gonna. Everything's gonna be all right. All right, go.
Hello and welcome everybody to the end. Coming right up, we'll talk about how play does in fact have limits.
In a less belligerent way, I'll be talking to you about my thoughts on the new season of The Bear. My name is Pina.
My name is Fricka.
And this is Screenside.
Do you know what PlayStation's slogan is?
Until I read the script that you wrote and that we're reading off, I had no idea.
I think it's been like this since the PS4. And ever since the PS4 has launched, up until now, I feel like this has been a one big setup for a big punchline. This is just the biggest irony ever. It's just a complete joke, this whole thing. Play has no limits. That is PlayStation's slogan, and it is a complete Mickey Mouse, absolute bastardry of I don't even think that's a word.
No, yeah, it's an absolute scummy thing. It has so many limits right now.
We talked last week about the Rockefellers and the potential of collusion between Rockstar and Sony, and we sort of, to an extent, a little bit, skeptical. I don't think that's a question anymore. Literally a week after they announced that GTA 6 is going to be a code in a box, Sony announces that they are ending the production of discs. This is this is coordinated. People have shaked hands, and it is very clear that the higher ups in the video game industry, Rockstar CEO, the Sony CEO, they have come together to try and decimate physical sales for a reason or another that we will get onto later. But to sort of establish where I've been at with PlayStation, I've owned a PS5 for 3 years, and
not might I add, through easy means. There was a lot of toil in getting that PS5. It's
it was
a very expensive console.
It is, especially now, but around when I bought it in 2023, it was in a good spot. The shortages had ended. There was some projections of some games coming, and the price hadn't increased yet because AI had only just come into existence, so there wasn't much to worry about. 2023 was a pretty good year, layoffs aside. But I had my PS5, and I actually liked it a lot. I had basically a honeymoon phase, but as is with I'm making the implication that after every honeymoon, every marriage crumbles.
Every marriage crumbles. I mean, that's the modern marriage experience. You get a PS5, you go on a honeymoon with it, and you get the divorce papers right after it.
Oh no, yeah. After that first month of owning a PS5, it was downhill from there. There was no reason for me to keep using it because I played I played the Astrobot tech demo because that wasn't out yet. I played Demon's Souls remake, which I already played the original of, and I think the original's better. I played the Ratchet and Clank game, which is like a 6 to 7 hour long game. And once I was done with that, that's it. That was basically all the games. The rest of the stuff was stuff I already played on my PS4 or just weren't exclusives, and I would rather play on PC. The other big thing about PS5 is you have to pay for online. The PS Plus infamously has been increasing in price. It feels like every other month. Right now, it is £60. £60 just for the basic features of PS Plus. It doesn't even come with like. It comes with like free games that you get every month, but you still have to pay for PS Plus to access those games. So it is extremely bare bones, especially considering that Sony doesn't run most of the online servers. They're independently hosted by all the game publishers, but you still have to pay online to play these games, save for free-to-play games like Fortnite. Additionally, the other big thing about PS5 that is just extremely harrowing for me, and that is the digital store, the PSN store in the United Kingdom. £70 for AAA games.
Jesus.
£70.
Jesus.
We are paying $93. $93 for games. For that in America, it's $70. We are paying $93.
That's just straight up illegal. That should not be there. Should not be there at all.
This is a crime. This is a crime, and I think some executives should go to prison. This is clear corruption, especially in Europe, because they have a massive stranglehold on Europe and the UK. So it's like it's the same thing with Euros. Euros is
it's around the same. Yeah, I believe it was something around like €70. Where it's €70, yeah, which is around 90. It's also around the $90 mark. It's ridiculous.
So they are very clearly abusing their position in Europe, but we're not done there. Because games are £70. There is absolutely no reason for me to use my PS5 to buy third-party games. It is a console that is only useful if I want to play first-party games. And when it comes to first-party games, we already know the PS5 isn't the best thing for that.
No.
Especially, it's for a very long time the running joke has been, someone buys a PS5 and they say, you notice what they didn't get with it? A fucking game. They didn't get a game with it. To be fair, I got a game with my PS5. I got Hogwarts Legacy, which I have not booted into my PS. Look, they offered the games on offer to get with my PS5. I think it was like God of War Ragnarok, which I already played on my PS4. Horizon Forbidden West, another PS4 game, and then Hogwarts Legacy. So I was like, I guess, dude.
And I mean, these are all like. Who? These are not the like nobody's like popping champagne up for this. Is there like maybe one or two people?
God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok was not very good. I sort of went into that in the State of Play episode. But then again, also a PS4 game, and I played that game on PS4 at 30 FPS at a low resolution. And I didn't really care. I didn't really notice that this was meant to be. It didn't feel like it was a game that was sort of, pushed onto PS4. It felt like it was designed for PS4, and they sort of just put it. They threw it onto PS5 as well. The same with Forbidden West. I've never played it. I think Horizon's a pretty like kind of industry plot series, but
yeah, no, I've
seen.
Yeah, I know one person who played it, and they're not like the only other games they played were Witcher 3. And like those are their favorite games was Witcher 3, Horizon Zero Dawn, and The Last of Us 2, obviously. I just
dude, it's crazy. Horizon Zero Dawn sold 25 million copies. Oh, who's playing this game? I've never seen anyone in my whole life actually like play the game or like finish it. It's generally a fake video game. But anyways, because the prices are outrageous. I don't know what it is, but when it comes to third-party games, they are also more expensive than their PC counterparts. To which I ask, why? What possibly is the reason? There's the cut.
Wait.
PlayStation's...
Wait. They're more expensive. Wait, so they're like non-exclusive Sony produced.
Every third-party game is more expensive on PlayStation Store than Steam at the base MSRP. We're not talking about sales. At the base price, they are more expensive on PlayStation Store for 90% of third-party games.
And I mean, even with sales, I mean, you can't beat Steam on sales.
Oh no, yeah, the sales is way better. And the other thing is because Steam, you can, if you don't want to buy games with Steam, you have Epic Games, you have GOG, you can go on like Humble Bundle or Fanatical and buy keys for a lower price. Or get bundles, in a Humble Bundle. So there's a lot of options there. You don't get those options on PlayStation. Your only option is to buy it from the PlayStation Store digitally, and that's going to be a very, very big issue when we come to the topic of this all digital future they're talking about. But because the PlayStation Store, it's more expensive. Even though the cut that the PlayStation Store and the Steam Store, they take the same cuts, like 30%. So I don't understand what's going on. But at the very least, if I wanted to buy a first-party game for PS5, I could get it for a lower price if I bought it physically. Basically, every first-party game I have for the PS5, I have bought physically because it has been substantially cheaper every single time. That option is now being taken away, and quite frankly, I think Sony can go fuck themselves with this whole taking away the production of discs. And I feel like a lot of people were speculating that this is going to happen at some point, but it feels so sudden. It feels so abrupt. It doesn't feel like we've reached that point yet, and I think that's a big reason why there's so much pushback against it.
Yeah, it's sort of we sort of just woke up yesterday, right? And we went on our news, and suddenly there's no discs in PlayStation. They're stopping producing it, those greedy bastards, even though I'm pretty sure they produce their own Blu-rays, and suddenly you go on Twitter, and suddenly some news source is saying, "Oh, Xbox might not have discs anymore." And I'm like, the only reason I know Nintendo's gonna the Nintendo's not gonna drop discs because they use cartridges. That's the only reason. And like, what happened? What happened? Generally, it is the most bizarre, asinine thing. I mean, people go like, "Oh, because discs aren't needed anymore, because they can't keep up with games." What, you think a floppy disk could keep up with games in the 2000s? What, you don't think where do you think discs existed? Cartridges, Blu-rays. The technology keeps up usually. So what happened here? It's
There's a
asinine.
rumor. There's a rumor going around now after this news that apparently ever since the release of the PS5, they've been trying to phase out physical media, and I think especially prevalent with the digital edition of the PS5. And then they released the PS5 Pro, which doesn't have any option to come with a disc drive. You have to buy that as a separate accessory. So Sony have been the ones that have been doing, I think, the greatest push for the phasing out of physical media, because they have such a stronghold on the production and the manufacturing of Blu-ray discs. If you want to make a Blu-ray disc for a PS5 game to be released physically, you have to go through Sony. You have to ask them to manufacture it and sign something from them. So, and there's been a lot of publishers that have came out and said, and apparently they've been also messaging internally, that they so want the option to release their games physically. But because Sony have complete control, if they put the hammer down, there's no option anymore. It's gone. It's done. If they don't put a disc drive in the PS6, you can't release physical media. It's over. That's the end of it.
Yeah, that's the scary one, isn't it? I mean, and not just that. I mean, this is such a. If this was 5 years ago, and if you told me a company has removed physical media from existence, I would probably think people were talking about Nintendo, because you go on social media and you hear about Nintendo. This is how people talk about it, right? It's the greedy company that wants to get rid of as much consumer advantages and secondhand market as possible. But nope, here's Sony doing this, and I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. That one video they posted like 5 years ago on like how to do secondhand like selling with their games or whatever. Well,
Oh, dude.
it is beyond bizarre. But please continue.
I'm glad you mentioned Nintendo, because Sony, in their statement that they put out about the end of physical discs, they said that this was done because it was the market trends are moving in this direction. Which, quite frankly, the only direction the trends are moving in is up their own arsehole. But the market trends, they said that most customers tend to prefer digital anyway, so this is where the market's moving. When literally last year with game keycards, we literally saw the market go against the phasing out of physical media and say, no, we're not going to buy game keycards. And now we are seeing a big push for a lot more physical Switch 2 games, especially from bigger publishers. And that's, especially with the more recent one now is Oblivion. Bethesda, they released the Oblivion remaster for PS5, and you had to download it. You had to download it through the disc. It wasn't fully on disc. But after the whole debacle of game keycards, they put the whole Oblivion remaster on cards. So I don't understand Sony saying that the market is moving away from physical, or that there's no demand for physical anymore, when we literally saw it last year, and we're still seeing it now with the Switch 2. It's just completely baffling.
Yeah, and what's the point of spending however much money? What is it right now that a PS5 is costing? It's something absurd for sure. But what's the point of what's this point of dropping all that money to not get a cheaper option, to not get a physical game? What's the point of having a console, generally? Well, what is the point of having a console that isn't even portable? I mean, with a Nintendo Switch, you can argue it's a portable console. The exclusives there are extremely, extremely valuable, not just because they are exclusive to Nintendo, and there's a bunch of them, but because it's a console that you can take with you anywhere you want. What does Sony have? They have a bunch of goddamn guys who want to play FIFA with each other, and we're suddenly going to start realizing, these guys just go to the store and buy these things. They don't really buy them online because they're casual gamers, and then they're gonna realize, oh, these people who use their PS5 as a FIFA machine, and they're gonna be like, oh, we can just do this on the computer, because at this point I'm pretty sure FIFA is like optimized enough, and like they don't give a goddamn about the graphics anymore, and it's like, oh, you can run this on your computer, and I'm sure EA is gonna look at this and it's gonna start rubbing its hands on the EA store, and it's gonna be like, oh, let's make it really easy to run in a computer. Don't you agree with that? I mean, this is ridiculous, this thing that they're doing.
The only people that this benefits is the biggest and the greediest companies. That's the only people that this benefits. This doesn't benefit the consumer. This doesn't benefit smaller developers, smaller publishers. This doesn't benefit most people except the biggest and greediest companies.
Yeah, this benefits my ass crack, I think. It benefits that for its openness, for how open it could be with this. I mean, we're getting sodomized so hard by these companies right now. It's not even funny.
Do you know what's so insane? Do you know how much money they're saving by doing this? Because do you know what the cost of making a Blu-ray disc? Let's put aside the fact. Let's assume that Sony doesn't own a factory for Blu-ray discs, and the cost is probably in like pennies for a single Blu-ray disc. Let's ignore that. Let's imagine in a fairy tale land that every Blu-ray disc they manufacture is made in some separate factory in China. Let's be honest, it's probably already in China. But the cost of making a single Blu-ray disc commercially is $2 to $4. That's how much they're saving. $2 to $4 fucking dollars. They are really trying to. So they're trying to skim off as much money as they can with every single copy sold, and it's like, what are we doing here, guys? And
yeah, that is stupid as all hell. I mean, it's 2 to 4 for one of the biggest companies ever, and I brought this up yesterday. I don't know if you remember. This is Sony we're talking about. These guys make most of their money from selling video cameras, from selling film. Do you understand that? Film. They sell old style video cameras that do film, and they sell digital cameras, and they sell SD cards. This is where they make most of their money. In hardware. So what do they not realize? Do they not realize the shot in the foot that this is? You have to wonder, as the CEO of Sony, fallen down as bottom of a well and is like asking for help, and it's like, throw all the CDs here. We can't I don't know, make us stare up the well, and that's why they're not producing anymore. What is going on?
For me personally, I do think physical media is very important in preservation, but it's also extremely important in keeping the market in check, because the basic market competition between retailers reducing down prices is what helps keep digital stores in check, because initially digital games were cheaper and now they are more expensive, and the existence of retailers putting up games for cheaper prices and competing between themselves push for more sales and decreased prices over time from publishers. But the thing is now, by eliminating physical discs, obviously, they now get to control the price. They get to kill off the second-hand market. There's not going to be any competition anymore between the retailers. Whatever the price Sony decides their game will be, that's what the price is going to be that every customer pays, no matter what. If they set it at $120 for Last of Us Part 3 or Marvel Spider-Man 3, that's what you have to pay. You don't get to go to Walmart and buy a discounted version because GameStop decided to mark it down. You don't get the option anymore. And I like the fucking Lupatazzi family were more lenient than these people. And we had talk about the Rockefellers. It's like, this is literally what the Rockefellers did.
It is.
To control the market, control how people purchase things, control the prices, and force as much money as possible. These are the things that only happen in markets that are left unchecked, unmoderated, and criminal organizations like Sony are left to do whatever they want because there's nobody pushing back against them. And I was already not going to buy a PS6 because the PS5 was the most disappointing system I've ever owned. There's just not many games for it, and
No, there's really nothing.
Most games come to PC anyways, and I'll get onto that later. But I genuinely hope none of you buy a PS6 either, because I usually don't believe in the sentiment of voting with your wallet, because if people want a product, they'll buy it. We saw it with the Switch 2. There was an attempt at a boycott, but Switch 2 was an appealing hardware. Mario Kart World was an appealing game, so people bought it anyway. So boycotts don't work unless there is a genuine lack of reason to purchase something. And I generally don't see a reason why you would buy a PS6. It's not going to be that much more powerful. It's probably going to have even less exclusives than the PS5.
Because
it's going to have
way
even
longer
more
to make, and they're going to be
Yeah.
they're going to be so expensive that they're going to be these menial, minute sequels to these safe games that are so uninteresting and are going to start losing steam any moment now. I think they're already doing it, but any moment now they're going to start losing even more steam. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
Even more so, the hardware is going to be super expensive. The games, because they're all digital, are going to be super expensive. So, quite literally, what reason is there to buy a PS6? There's none. All the games are going to be cross-gen. There's going to be no exclusives. Everything's going to be super duper expensive. What is what is the reason to buy a PS6? There's none. There's no reason. I like.
One of the members of the audience is saying 6 is bigger than 5. You got to admit that much.
Obviously,
it's a bigger number.
there's gonna be cattle fucking gun and ball gamers that they see, oh, there's a new console on the shelf. Let me buy it, and then they buy it. But I don't think this can carry a whole console. I think there's gonna be massive blowback, and I've been saying for years now that these video game consoles aren't afraid enough of PC gaming, because I generally think there is potential for PC gaming and Steam to completely eradicate the presence of PlayStation and probably Xbox now. Obviously we're not going to see that now with the Steam machine. It's a pretty bad time to see hardware like that. But like Sony was talking about earlier this week, before all of this, that they want to sort of compete with PC now, and they want to provide unique value to their console that you can only find on PlayStation, and try to get sort of PC gamers to jump over to PlayStation. And what did they do? They remove physical discs. One of the aces up their sleeve that puts them ahead of PC gaming, which is all digital. One of the biggest downsides of PC gaming is it's all digital and it's all licenses. But you're removing discs. Why?
No.
Why?
Yeah, it is stupid. I mean, they're more expensive. Unlike a PC, remember, a PC is more than just a gaming device. You can do your taxes on that. If if Sony shows me a console where I can do my taxes and I can get an Excel sheet going, they might be competing with PC gaming then. If everything is cheaper, maybe, I don't know, if they have the best spreadsheet ever, maybe that's their new strategy, you know? Maybe, the PS2, it was console and movie player. Now it's going to be console and office machine. The CEO, the managers at big building offices are going to be happy. It can print, it can make Excel machines, and it can play video games. You can play a monkey ball on it or something. I mean, maybe that's their new strategy. Well, I'd buy that. I think that's pretty good. What are they doing? Are they stupid, competing with PC and they remove discs? Good Lord.
I don't think Steam Machine was the breakthrough in the market that they were hoping, that a lot of us were hoping it would be. But I think especially if Xbox sticks to the landing with their PC hybrid, which is going to be able to do the things that you just listed off, because it's going to be a Windows PC, I think PS6 is going to be in for a rude awakening in combination with all these other factors we've listed off. And there's been a lot of people that have not just been cancelling their PS Plus subscriptions, but saying they're just not going to buy a PS6. And I think that's a great thing that a lot of people are just speaking out. And I'm not sure if they're going to roll it back, because it's like the leadership on Sony have been desperate to be doing to do this. They've been desperate.
Yeah, I mean,
But
you remember? I mean, that when the PS5 got announced and there was no disc, it was like, what? That was shocking. Then, did they not read the room? Did they? Are they completely blind? One has to wonder. Maybe they're the the two blind games you've played recently. Maybe these are the people financing them.
okay. Now the other thing I would like to talk about PlayStation, and this is going to be a slight pivot in our discussion, but I don't want to hear Nintendo's name in any of your mouths ever again. Let's be clear. Every for-profit company on our planet is evil. This is just the way it is. This is an unavoidable fact. But there are levels to this maleficence, and when we compare to Sony, Nintendo have never used and have spoken against the use of generative AI in their games. They still produce physical games, and even when there are game keycards, you can still resell them, and Nintendo are not the ones in the control of the prices. Even when it comes to digital games or virtual game cards, you're able to lend your games to other people, so you're not completely locked in, like with the Sony ecosystem. Nintendo doesn't do layoffs. And just last year, Nintendo's market share decreased by 50%. It decreased by half. And for any other video game company, especially Sony, it would mean massive layoffs. Like whole studios get shut down. But what does Nintendo do? 10% pay increase for all their employees. Just increase the pay by 10% for everybody. And look, I'm not done. Nintendo have never pushed all their studios to make one particular type of game, like Sony have with cinematic games, like and with live service games, Concord.
And speaking of that, they've never, as far as I'm aware, recently they've never fired said teams of games because they failed to do one game en masse, right? As far as I'm aware, that didn't happen.
Nah, yeah. Like Sony had like a big plan on the with the previous CEO that they were gonna make. Like, I think it was outrageous. It was 16 live service games, I remember, or something, and it was like most of them got. Like even that's like a footnote now to this like evil levels. But let's keep going. The digital games that they have for Nintendo eShop have a lower MSRP price than physical games, as they should be. They also have fair regional pricing, and let's just make a very simple comparison. The top 10 best-selling games right now on the PlayStation Store are, let me go through it: GTA 6, FIFA, Fortnite, Roblox, Call of Duty, UFC 6, 007 First Light, GTA 5, the Assassin's Creed 4 remake, and NBA 2K. These are the top 10 best-selling games on the PlayStation Store.
Oh, what a lineup.
And now let's compare it to Switch 2. The top 10 best-selling games: Star Fox, Pokemon Pocopia, Mario Kart Wild, Deltarune, Devil May Cry 5, FIFA, always gonna have FIFA, Moonlight Peaks, which is some random indie game, The Adventures of Elliot, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and Breath of the Wild. So we're comparing gun and ball games to actual real video games. It's night and day. It's night and day from PlayStation. It's very clear that, and there's a lot of statistics out that most people that own a PS5 play the same 5 or 6 games, and they don't switch from it, and they don't go looking out for other games.
Again, I always mention this, but as from someone who is from continental Europe, which is, as you've mentioned this before, the stronghold of Sony, really, and market-wise, it is impressive how many people... really, I've been saying this for weeks, and I've been saying it on Discord, I've been saying it everywhere. why do they call it the PlayStation? They really should just call it the FIFA station, because this is what these people use it for. I've never seen anyone buy. I know one person who owned Persona 5 on the PlayStation, aside from Red Dead Redemption, GTA, and FIFA and whatnot. It is these people. They spent €400 to then spend €80 yearly to play this one sports game, and or to spend $20 every week on shark coins on GTA 5 to get the big tanks, and I don't know, do whatever the hell you do on GTA Online. It is a ridiculous notion.
When it comes to actually supporting developers, when it comes to supporting innovation and experimentation in our industry, Switch 2 and PC gaming right now is the healthiest places for your games to be. Astrobot. I own Astrobot. I think that's the only game I've played on my PS5 that's an exclusive that is genuinely phenomenal. Do you know how much? Do you know how much that game sold? In spite of the fact it won Game of the Year, I don't think it's even cracked 2 million sales.
No, of course.
This is the best game on the PS5. The best game on the PS5, and it hasn't even cracked 2 million sales.
Yeah, because that's just not what they play. Yeah, this is not what they play.
It's just unacceptable, and I'm not gonna accept the argument that PlayStation games, in comparison to Nintendo, Nintendo games don't go in price. PlayStation games, they do go down in price. Okay. How about we look at PlayStation Store right now? All their exclusive games: Demon's Souls remake, still £70. Returnal, £70. £50 on Steam. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, a 6-hour-long game, £70. £50 on Steam.
Oh,
Marvel Spider-Man 2, £63 for some reason. Its Steam version is still cheaper at £50. Ghost of Tsushima, a literal PS4 game, £70. £50 on Steam.
Before you continue, just a reminder, £70 is equivalent to $93. That's $93. That's 93. That's almost $100 for this.
Even Sony is self-aware that they're able to fleece the prices on the PlayStation Store, but can't on Steam. That's why on Steam, they have their games marked down by like £20 less. It's insane. I've never seen this kind of strategy with any company. I think the only exception has been with Death Stranding 2, the release of that game. That released for £70 on Steam, and there's been a push for more £70 games on Steam, and it's this poison that's trying to invade its way into PC gaming that I don't think it's gonna work in the long term. But pray tell, what reason is there for me to still use my PS5 when not only are the third-party games cheaper on PC, but their first-party games are also cheaper on PC?
Yeah.
What?
No.
Am I using my PS5 for exactly? Astrobot, and that's it.
I don't understand. It almost feels like, because when digital storefronts started hitting the market, companies would price them games incredibly low on digital storefronts to get the consumer to know about them and to make use of them and to learn to use them, because there would be cheaper games at an easier price. And it almost feels like that the Sony think that if they do that on computer, the people who are buying the games will be like, oh, I really like this game. Maybe I should buy a PlayStation 5. Did they not consider that by selling them cheaper on PC, what these people would actually think is, oh, I should continue using my computer that runs this game, by the way, and Sony games are beefy usually, and just keep using it and go, oh, and I get it for cheaper? Why would I ever buy a PS5? What is this? There is no strategy. A toddler would poop in their trousers could think of something better than this. I could be eating cylinders, and it would be a better market strategy than whatever this is.
The really funniest part about all of this is Sony's been a company that makes extremely baffling decisions. But I think the most baffling decision they've ever made is not just the fact that they're ending physical discs now, but in the same tweet that they're saying that they're going for an all-digital future, they also announce that they're closing 2 digital storefronts. So, in 20 years' time, when the PS6 store closes and there's no physical discs, there's no way to redeem your codes for game, and there's no way to buy new digital games, the only way to access these games will be piracy. That's it. That's going to be the only way you're going to be able to play these games. And I understand retro gaming is not appealing to everybody. Some people don't want to pay. A handful of games are super expensive. But for the most part, if you want to buy a PS3 game right now and you want to play it, after the digital store closes, of course, you can go buy a physical copy for like $20-$30 easily. With PS6, you're not going to have that option anymore. That whole library is going to be locked down. Everything will be gone. And I think that's the biggest strategy of it all.
Do you think the
yes.
the CEO of Sony looked at Dolphin Emulator and went, "What's the point?"
I mean, eventually there's going to be emulators for every single system, but relying on emulators to come out and to keep these systems alive, while also basically pumping your firmware with 1 million updates to try prevent jailbreaking your console, is kind of reverse thinking. I don't think that's in the force or anything. I think Sony would prefer if there were no emulators for any of their systems, and the games were just genuinely lost to time, so that they can resell it in 10 years' time for like 70 euro.
10? Yeah, I guess they could do, what was it? The Last of Us remake or like Last of Us 2? Was it Last of Us 2 remastered that immediately like released? Like was that what happened? I forget now, but
it was Last of Us 1.
Yeah, no, I remember that. That was a bit miserable. By the way, everyone, call-ins are open. It has been saying there in a bit, and do join if you have anything else to add. Not necessarily just about this topic that we're saying, but about anything game related that you might want to do. Frick and I would be very happy to discuss our opinions on Deltarune with you if anyone would want to join, and any other thing. Not Rhythm Heaven, because I didn't get to play it yet. But no, this is a ridiculous notion that these things that these people are doing, and why? Why is the big question. Nobody was asking for this. Sony was already having a pretty bad PR season, and if they were going to do this, why not do it during the release of a really good game, or during the release of the new console, or well, I guess couldn't do that, because if the console has no disk drive, that would be really poor. It's just, I don't know, it's all feels so bizarre.
I think PlayStation is, if not now, in 10 years' time, a dead brand. I think it is a soulless husk of a piece of plastic used by people who only play the same 6 games, and anybody who remotely cares about video games should see that PlayStation has no future in our industry. They are a poison to the consumer, and they are a poison to every video game publisher around them. They do not bring any benefit to anybody. Well, except for the people who want money. That's the only people that it benefits.
Definitely. No, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we've said about everything there is to say about this topic. I don't know, while we wait, I would say maybe 5 minutes for someone to join, if they want to join. Frick, do you want to run us through that? We've had this idea for a bit, but do you want to run us through what you've been playing for this week, since, we've sort of exhausted that topic of Sony?
I mean, I've been trying to catch up on games released this year, and I've been trying to fail, really. I've been trying to get rid of the games that I haven't beat on my PS5 yet, I beat those games, so then I don't have to touch my PS5 anymore. The only games that I haven't beaten my PS5 yet, that I only have my PS5, are like Final Fantasy 16, The Last of Us Part 1, which it's like a fine game. What's the other one? Returnal, The Lost Guardian, and I think Gravity Rush, and then that's basically it.
Man, you said The Last Guardian, and like that scene from Ratatouille where Ego tries the Ratatouille. I was like, oh, that game exists, you know? Like, it was a memory unlock. I just forgotten that. That was such a big thing.
Did you play it?
No. I think I watched some YouTuber play it. I was so excited. It was like, oh my god, I've been waiting for this game forever. And I'm like, why? Why was it such a big deal? It was so bizarre. It was such a big deal. I mean,
because it was
cool
made
game.
by Shadow Colossus devs. And then now making the next game, Gen Atlas, which is probably going to be divisive as well.
Yeah, Last Guardian. It wasn't. I felt like it was a mixed sort of a bag of opinions on it. Right?
Because it had very odd AI systems, and you had like a little buddy, the big like bird that you have to sort of drag around with you and make them do stuff, and they're not always receptive because it's meant to be coded like an actual animal.
Oh.
So people were kind of upset that it was like, it's not answering every single one of my instructions. It's being too emotional.
I mean, that's kind of a cool idea, though, right? It sounds a bit frustrating, but it's kind of a cool idea.
I might be wrong. I think it might have just been like the AI was broken as well. I think maybe that was their excuse, but
I'm sure
I don't know. Who knows? I'll play it someday.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll find out when you boot it up to get it out of your to play list.
This is interesting. We have a caller coming in. It's have an interesting name. I'm gonna bring them in. Welcome in, Nintendine Junior.
Oh dear.
Yes. Hello. I couldn't help but notice that you were talking about the death of gaming thanks to Sony, but I've just got to say, all of this was started by Nintendo. Nintendo is the devil, and Nintendo is absolutely greed central. Like,
how?
Okay, can you like say how?
So you were on about that 10% employee rise. That was in 2023. It is not recent. Nintendo did not do this out of the goodness of their heart. And I can't believe you just glossed over something like that. Yeah, Sony's doing whatever Sony's doing.
But hold on. They didn't do it out of the goodness of their heart, but they still did a pay rise. So they just did one in 2023 for no reason. They just did one in 2023 for no reason.
They must have offset it with some sort of stupid anti-consumer game key cards. Yeah, that.
What?
But game keycards did not they didn't exist.
But they're so anti-consumer. Like, I can't believe it. And Nintendo killed my dog.
You have Attorney Online open?
What's that? No, that's not. No, that's Nintendo based. I'll never do that.
I heard bleeping.
No, you heard absolutely nothing. Anyway, back to
playing
Nintendo.
that on the original Nintendo DS.
Oh. They killed your dog? That sounds illegal. That I'd be pretty upset too.
Nintendo ninjas always do that.
They kill you.
They come to your house at the latest of the night, and they kill your dog.
We have another character trying to enter. Please welcome in Lysander PC Gamington the Third.
All right.
Hello, gentlemen. Would you care for a cigar?
Can I help you, Lysander PC Gamington the Third?
Well, I don't know what this unscrupulous character is talking about, but I think, knew this was coming. If not today, then one day. Because the PC gaming console market is clearly the inferior, money-grubbing interior when compared to the PC gaming sphere. Now, I do wish I was saying this more confidently, because we are also on the heels of the launch of the Steam Machine, which is not the most robust PC gaming offering. I think you'll both agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think
It's much better than the Switch 2.
How?
I wouldn't know.
How is it?
Because it's owned by Nintendo.
Is that the?
I couldn't possibly comment. I scream and I yell when one of those foul consoles gets within me.
Within you? What, like inside you? What, are you putting these things up your ass?
Well, the common people are ravenous these days. You never know what they'll try to do.
What is this bit? You sound like the the cousin of the fat guy in the Texas show. I forgot every name. I forgot every name I could have possibly forgotten there. What's it called? King of the Hill, and it's
You missed all three, my dear friend.
it's all three of them. I ruined your bit. Not bit. I ruined your very real voice that you were doing there. I'm sorry.
You fucked up everything.
I fucked up everything. Now, I'll just. I mean, yeah. Not every company is evil. Yeah.
That's
Nintendo must.
Well, I don't know who this guy is. I just want you all to know we didn't come together. I came in my own car. I don't know who he is.
That's a Colin.
I see the Nintendo branding on your car.
The
I
screen.
can't believe it.
The screen is showing a telephone, guys. There's no car.
We're outside right now. Open up. I see the Nintendo in your office. I'm gonna take it away. You're not allowed that.
That's
Isn't
it.
this the place
That's
where they
it.
sell
That's
fresh
it. I'm
ciabatta?
leaving.
Well, come
Oh,
on
he's
now.
left.
What are you doing? Oh well.
Don't
Well,
worry,
can I
puppy.
destroy the Wii yet?
I come help you. Come to comfort you.
So, Nintendo Junior, I suppose this is our show now.
Yes, welcome. Today's episode is on about how Nintendo.
Hey, are you crippled? Take this.
This is a message to all viewers of Screenside, the feckless critics, the mindless sheep of the masses, and the Sonic fans. This rudimentary web show has been seized by the RRRIRA, the really, really real IRA, and we shall use it as a broadcasting platform for the foreseeable future. In the past, this show has been host to unfunny criticisms, irrelevant and trite call-ins, and unearned bashing of Stranger Than Heaven. These unseemly armchair criticisms can be abided no longer, and we will hold control of this channel until our demands are met. First, our ascendance of the last week's slanderous review of Deltarune's Chapter 5, followed by an instatement of a 5-star review of the entire game, including the chapters that won't come out for another 2 bloody years. And the freak who called Deltarune a game for sissies is to be put to instant summary execution. Second, a full 2-hour episode about 2009 Wes Anderson stop-motion animation film The Fantastic Mr. Fox, the greatest movie ever created by man, where its genius writing and humour, intelligent commentary, emotional storytelling, and that funny bit where Mr. Fox counts to 3 at an odd pace are all regaled for their brilliance. Failure to meet these demands will result in continued occupation by the RRIRA, where next week we will be reviewing the Hitman 2 Assassin port for the GameCube and Season 4 of Daria. Long live the Gamers Irish Republic!
I've no idea. I've generally no idea what that was. I don't know who that was.
How did
I
they get access?
I don't know how they got access. I've no idea what that was. I'm just gonna play the title sequence before we go on to my thing. Alright, after that harrowing little bit of a whatever that was, I don't know, and not any of that. I don't know what any of that was. I believe we were ransacked or something. I don't know what that was. It's time for my part of the show, which is going to be a bit shorter. We're doing a bit of a shorter episode because Frick is slightly sick. If you haven't heard him coughing, and I'm actually quite tired because I haven't been in Lisbon the whole week. But there was a big release recently. And let me preface it, as I usually do. For the better or the worse, I tend not to enjoy modern media too much. It's true. I've said this about a million times, but I got to keep saying it because people might not know. It creates very little buzz or too little buzz to my taste usually. You know, stuff like Oppenheimer. Oh, dude, I can't watch it. I can't watch it. I haven't watched it yet, and I'm not gonna watch it. You know what? It's probably not bad, but it is. People were so annoying about it. I feel like if I watch it right now, it's going to be in bad faith, and I'm going to want to not.
Sounds like a contrarian.
It's not. Did you move my camera? I'm looking at it right now. It's a bit off.
What?
Whatever. It's not being a contrarian. It's you know, like people made too much buzz, and I can't with that. It's just it can't be that good. I mean, it's a movie about Oppenheimer. Jesus Christ. Anyway, they hype it so hard it doesn't interest me. I'm sure it's a good movie. I'm sure it's good. But it cannot possibly be beyond that. It cannot possibly be more than good. Would you say it's more than good? Would you say it deserved all that news time it got?
I mean, I don't remember what released in 2023 for it to compete with. I know Barbie was that year, but I think that's better.
Yeah, I think that proves my point. Anyway, of all the shows that have been on television recently, however, the one that I'm about to show you, as per usual, is my favorite of the decade, bar none.
Chef, you good? Just take a breath. Listen to the pan. You hear the music?
We have each other's backs every night.
I look at you all, and I love you so much.
This is how we keep this place alive. This is the bear.
Oh, that's ended kind of abruptly. Anyway, that was season 5 trailer of The Bear. If you haven't watched The Bear, it's a show about cooks in Chicago, and it's usually very stressful. Would that be a good summary of the show?
No, yeah, it's a very high, intense, fast-paced. Really gets the nerves off, but then also at the same time it sort of slows down a lot, and it's very, very calming to sort of juxtapose that.
It's very interesting because I'm going to mention that those slow moments, which I think you're going to agree with what I'm going to say, because I'm going to try and give a bit of a more nuanced opinion, because this show is actually quite controversial with its public. But I can confidently say, above everything, that even though my deck of cards is thin in that aspect that is modern shows, The Bear is definitely the best show of this decade. I feel like that's a fair sort of assessment, or a fair opinion to have, I think. It offers a unique style of directing, a unique style of photography, and a unique plot structure I often find. And most notably, acting. I think, the acting is so different from anything, unless maybe Larry David's Curb Your Enthusiasm, I would say, is the most comparable thing. And really, it's not even that comparable at all. I mean, it's such a unique way to act, isn't it, Fricka?
No, yeah, it's a very, very talented, but also sort of stacked cast that they have going, and that you can tell that they're all giving that their all. I think it's I'm not sure who the director is behind The Bear, but I hear that he's a very, very, very passionate guy. I hear that also that they sort of crank out like episodes of these, and they film these in like 2 hours. It's a very efficient process. They have like a big like jazz going on.
Yeah, that makes sense because I mean, it's such a stressful show, and most of the shots I feel like are one take shots a lot of times. Not all of them, and obviously you have those iconic close-ups, but it's a very unique show in that regard. Before I lose my train of thought, it was a breath of fresh air when I first watched the show. Because you watch a show, and I remember as a kid on Netflix watching a show like Better Call Saul, which I know is one of your personal favorites, and I don't disagree with that, but I think it's missing that to be a truly, truly great, timeless show. It's missing that sort of uniqueness. That's the thing that stands out, right? Because Better Call Saul is such a stellar, solid show, but that is all it is. I know that might be a bit slanderous to you and to some people, but I feel like that's sort of true.
I think...
Yeah, please.
I think it's because Better Call Saul is a lot more fantastical, and the scenarios a lot of the characters put her in are not quite true to life. Meanwhile, The Bear is sort of trying to capture like everyday real life.
In a very unique way, and that's why I always mention the acting with this show, because it's clearly scripted, but they're trying to make it sound like it's a natural conversation, and that's really hard to pull off, and they pull it off really well. To continue, amazing shows like Sopranos and The Wire, two of our favorite shows here, right? They stand the ultimate test of time because they don't offer us just good quality. They offer us a unique take on how to do entertainment. The Bear is the one show I know has done this in this decade. I cannot think of another big popular show that was a hit with people that was similar whatsoever to this. Really, I mean, I think the other big hit is what's the superhero one called where the guy's evil? I'm forgetting
The Boys.
Yeah, The Boys. That was a big hit. But why?
This is a very interesting comparison.
No, because people are like, oh, it's different. Well, yeah, it's different to superhero shows. It was like, do you understand?
It's not really different. It's a very saturated thing now.
No, it is.
I guess
it is.
maybe.
But a lot of its audience was like, oh, it's different, and I'm like, yeah, it's different to superhero shows.
Watchmen did what it was doing like in the 80s or something.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I can't think off the top of my head something, and you have shows like Beef, which is a really good show, but it's not really doing anything different other than it's not white people. I guess there's no white people. I mean, there's white people. I guess that's sort of, there's no white, it's Asians. It's a bunch of Asians, which is good. It's great to have, but it's not really. Are you tapping your microphone while I talk? That's really rude.
No. I'll find it very interesting when I don't know if you ever will. If you ever do watch Succession, because that's the other really big acclaimed show of this decade that I do really like, but it's not one of my favorites, but I think it's really, really good. I'm kind of hesitant because it does go for that style of realism and like grounded acting, sort of in the moment, like The Bear, but it's more fantastical in the sense it's more corporate setting, and it's like a bunch of billionaires. So I don't know if that's something that you'll see ever.
Yeah, I have to watch it. I've wanted to watch it. I mean, in fact, we should probably start watching that now. Well, it's been enough time since we finished The Wire, I think. But regardless of that, that said, this all said, how come that when season 5 of this show releases, it is still getting the poor reception that its two predecessor seasons got? Because I don't know if you remember season 3, and of course you do. I know you remember. Season 3 and 4 weren't very well appreciated by the public. And I mean, even in my own household, I remember asking my brother and my mom, and I think they weren't very happy with it. I was like, okay, I guess. But I didn't really think about it more than that. But I don't understand. I really like those two seasons. But that said, I understand why. Because the initial two seasons, season 1 and 2, were characterized by this constant feeling of dread and stress that put the viewer's soul right in the shoes of every character that was trying to make a deadline without messing up, which is every single episode and minute of the show is a character trying to make a deadline without messing up. I feel like this is or actively sabotaging the people who are trying to make the deadlines. And there's a very big emphasis on time and how we spend it in this show, and it's all very cool. It was something that was erratic, almost uncontrolled. Acting made it all flow very naturally, and the iconic super close-ups of dangers in the kitchen, like fire or order tickets. Oh no, famously the meme, oh no, they're ordering food from my restaurant that sells food. But there are actually it's actually all very well done in the show itself. I mean, I have it right here in my notes. It almost feels like if Hitchcock's movies were on super cocaine, and I feel like that's a pretty good. Like if someone asks me, "Oh, is The Bear good?" I'll say exactly that. And the only reason I feel like that sale pitch isn't going to work is because most people haven't really watched Hitchcock movies nowadays, I guess. But either way. The two seasons after seasons 3 and 4, the ones that were criticized, suffered because they did not live up to this expectation. Would you say that that's a fair assessment, Fricky?
No, I really. It took me so long to try to gauge what exactly like people were expecting. What are the expectations do they think that needed to be lived up to? What did they want out of it? I understand season 3 was sort of like the setup of the restaurant. Season 4 was like the restaurant sort of going downhill. But it's like it was very clear where the show was going, and it's very clear that the plot was moving forward. So it's not like an argument of like, oh, we're in the same place we were in season 2. No, we're not.
No, it's not.
Things have changed completely.
Yeah, I agree with that. No, I think my analysis here is season 3 and 4 are slower. And that's sort of the opinion I've seen, and I can understand that. They are slower in the kitchen terms, but also with how the characters are presented. Because suddenly in season 3 and 4, you have these great episodes, like the episode where Natalie gives birth, for example, which I believe is your favorite episode, right?
I'd say the I think it's called Forks. The Christmas episode of season 2. I think it's still like the best episode in the show. One of the best episodes of all television history. But that episode of Natalie giving birth is one of the best episodes of the show, and so many people hate it because it's like 40 minutes of her mother trying to like calm her down and sort of like they're trying to process through it, and it's the slowest episodes ever, but it is also one of the best written and best acted. It is insane to me that people can fail to appreciate the mastery on display in such an episode, and all the episodes really.
And this touches on the thing we've talked about 2 weeks ago, where sometimes you have to wonder if it's a problem with audiences and how they view things, if they usually think things are too slow. I have this problem, but I don't think this is it. I get it. I think I get it. I absolutely get it. Viewers had come to expect something out of this show, and the show had given them something entirely different. I mean, you were used to constant kitchen action, constant stress, drama, and in groups. But this entirely different thing was also what produced some of the best episodes, as I said right now. These character-driven episodes where it's just one character, like Natalie giving birth, or the other example I have here, when Richie goes to the big Michelin star restaurant and learns the trade of service, right? That's such a great episode too.
Yeah.
It is one of the best episodes, and that seems to be what people have a problem with, and I don't really understand it because I think they're fantastic episodes. But I get it. You want that stress, you want that action, you want the TikTok reels. Not to say season 1 and 2 are TikTok reels, but you got used to that sort of dopamine. Most audiences want that dopamine. But my question then is this. If viewers had a problem with the slower seasons, how come they have a problem with season 5? A season that, for all intents and purposes, tries to go back to the basics of season 1 and 2, right? I mean, season 5 takes place almost entirely in just one day. The day of, I believe, is the last service of the restaurant. I don't believe. I actually know, but I felt like that rolled off the tongue better.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And that day is basically the entire season, right? I think there's one episode, and episode 0, because this season has a prelude episode. But that one day is maybe the most eventful day in the history of mankind. I'm pretty sure more things happened to this group of people in that restaurant than to the entire combined rest of the population on that day. Everything goes wrong because of the exacerbated rain and because of several adverse situations our cast can't control. I mean, the roofs are falling, there's flooding, Noah's building an ark outside, there's all kinds of animals, there's giraffes, there's There's bears. I mean, that would have been a good thematic thing if they did it, and I was serious. But no, it is a very stressful day in the show, and you can really feel it. There's constant chaos in the kitchen and in the service room. There's that incredible tension and constant stress, in fact, of the first and second season that audiences really, really liked. And not only that, it being the final season of the show, it also offers, on top of this, all the emotional payoff and nodding down that the series needed. It ties up all the loose ends, and ending on a bombastic, feel-good Hollywood ending that is so needed in today's more cynical world. Or at least that's my understanding. So my question, once again, my question for today is, why? Why does the public seem to not enjoy the season of television as much as they did the first two?
It doesn't make sense because, I mean, The Bear has always been a very, very snappy show. It's been like 20-minute long episodes, right? But are we serious? Like this last season, it out of all the seasons goes by like quickest.
It does.
Out of all of them,
Yeah.
It goes by so quick. Like it doesn't feel like a whole season. It feels like fucking 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. I would just like prefacing a reminder that call-ins are open right now, so please do feel free to join. To anyone who wants to enter the discussion, and I agree. It is such a it's so fast paced, and it's so good. It really catches you. Especially they have these great not cult cuts, but these beginning and ends that really keep you guessing. I mean, they have I believe the beginning of one of the episodes where the guy just falls off the roof, or I see it goes by so fast and so naturally that I can't even remember if it's the beginning or end, and it's such a good way to keep you hooked to the show and to what's happening on your TV set, and you just keep watching. And it's really good. And I'm sorry for the spoilers there, but there's a bunch of stuff that happens. That's the least of the important one. I think the one problem... What was that? Is that a horse?
Don't worry about it.
Right. I think the one issue I have with the show is actually... There's one episode where the lights go off, and then it doesn't happen for another 5 episodes. Like the lights start flickering and they go off, and then they cut to the title screen, and then they cut back and the lights are on and okay, and nobody really mentions it. And I think that was my one and only problem with this season, was that one thing that really doesn't matter at all for a show's quality. And I mean, you enjoyed this season, right? And you enjoyed the rest of the show. Could you go?
I don't think it's the strongest. I think it isn't the strongest season, but it doesn't have specific episodes that I think are the greatest. But I think it's a solid end to the show, and it's a solid continuation of what was already being done.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. While I await anyone that might want to join the call-in, and remember, you can join call-ins for other reasons than if you want to talk about other things. I think this is a thing we should start pushing. I'm actually going to go to my emergency topic here, because I've just noticed it's been 10 minutes spent with me. And I don't have a trailer prepared.
Well, more like 20 to 30 minutes, because we went to break early.
We went to break early because there was a happening. But I guess it's fine. But I will say, while I'm here, I don't have the trailer for it to show you guys. But there was another release this week to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, which I really couldn't give 2 fucking shits about. But what I do give 2 shits about is Larry David. I love that guy. And he released the show, the first episode of his new show, which is such a long name. I have to look it up right now. It is Life, Larry, and the Pursuit of Unhappiness. And have you watched the first episode yet?
I watched it with you.
Oh, were you? I did not remember you being there.
I was playing Black Mesa in the background.
Right, that would explain it. And could you give me your sort of thoughts on it?
Eh.
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 Eh. I think you know
It's
what?
not the funniest.
No, it's not. Yeah, I would have to agree. I think there's one because it's not Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is such a specific thing. It's still funny, right? We can agree. It's still funny.
Do you know what this new show feels like? It feels like a stand-up show with nothing, like no. It feels like what's the name of that guy? Henry's Kitchen. It felt like his stand-up show. He was just doing random jokes and there's nothing to connect them all.
Oh,
the reason Curb Your Enthusiasm was so funny is because every episode is like a million jokes, but they're all connected together, and it all sort of culminates together in the end. And that's why Curb Your Enthusiasm is so funny. But this new show doesn't have that. It's just punchline after punchline, and it's not as, what's the word?
Oomph. It doesn't have as much oomph.
It doesn't have the oomph. No.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I think I sort of agree with that problem, and I think a lot of them feel, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry from what I'm about to say to any fans of this show or this episode. And I like it. I think it was decent. But good Lord, it feels like the better SNL sketches, which are still not very good, right? And you can because it's skits and have you seen that thing in SNL they did where Larry David goes to the office and he does what people have coined to be the Larry David thing, which is like, oh, he just says, truths about things, and you're like, oh, you can't be tying your shoelaces on the table or something like that. Have you ever seen that? Because it feels like that. I mean, that first skit where he's doing the Declaration of Independence, and it's just him listing a bunch of grievances. It's just like, oh, this is what people coined as the Larry David bit, and I feel
it literally is SNL skits, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit SNL skits, but some of and I think my problem is when they're trying to lean into the Larry, do the famous Larry thing, right? I think that's my issue with it, because in Curb Your Enthusiasm, it's a very natural thing that happens. Like it doesn't happen because they want it to happen. It happens in lieu of a plot, and here it just sort of happens. But that one Rosa Parks skit they have on the first episode, I think is really good comedy, because it's just the premise is ridiculous enough. He's not doing the thing where he's just complaining about things. He's doing something different, and just the premise of what if Rosa Parks tried to sit in front of the bus, but there was a very Jewish man sat next to her who was even more pissy than her, right? Not to say that she was pissy. She was totally within her right. That was maybe the worst choice of words I could have used there. But I feel like that one works really well. The other ones, I don't know. Bring in the call.
Before we bring in the caller, I can't believe I'm saying this. I think the skits on Key and Peele are funnier than this new Larry David show. And I can't. Okay. Yeah, let's just bring him in.
Yeah.
Welcome in, TV Fruit Bat.
I only watch TV sometimes, but
okay.
I have two things to say. I think. First of all, I don't know what it is about the American mind mod that finds Saturday Night Live funny.
No. Yeah.
I
do
not get it.
I will say there's like they do skits every week, and that's hard. I get it. There's
how many skits do they have to do a week?
They do. That's
like a lot.
It's like a 1 hour show, more maybe.
Like obviously, on volume, a show like this isn't going to maintain some kind of crazy quality. Not like they had quality back then. I've shown you Samurai Hotel. I've shown you Samurai Hotel.
It's not very good, no. But yeah, yeah.
It's like you gotta make 10. But and then I see one sometime. And I'm sure. Oh, look at this! This one's so funny, and it's just
No, it's the same. It's the same. I became genuinely convinced for a while that on Saturday Night Live they have one joke.
What is that?
And now
joke?
presenting the guy. Hello, I'm the guy. I'm doing a thing. Is he really doing the thing? We didn't pay for this to watch him do the thing, did he? He can't do the thing. That's not allowed. But he's there and he's doing the thing. Now I'm doing the thing backwards. Really? Backwards? What? This isn't good for television at all. And I swear I watched like 5 skits in a row where that was the bit.
Okay, but what about that one Larry David SNL skit where
I don't know.
where it's a sitcom? No, where it's a sitcom. I've shown you, and there's the dinosaur cutaway. That one's pretty good. That one I find to be pretty good. That one is the one I like. The one I like.
Oh yeah, and segueing back into Larry David. Thank you.
What about what about the one where Elon Musk plays?
You mean the worst one?
Yeah.
You mean the worst one?
Yeah.
Elon Musk dressed up like what? What was the bit? I don't know.
Well, he's Wario, and Wario's gritty. Please continue, Larry David.
To take it back to Larry David, I watched this new show.
With me, see you. I remember because you're vocal. I remember you.
Yes,
You let out a couple of chuckles.
It wasn't the worst thing. We liked Larry David. And there were some actors I recognized. It was like, okay, this is, sure. And then I sort of, the first one was good, like the Declaration of Independence stuff. I sort of tuned out in the second one. Even Richard Kind is great, but it's like it couldn't show couldn't save the fact there was no joke after a while.
No, I agree. That one is the worst one. That one.
And I think the Rosa Parks one is the best one because I think you almost feel like he's playing a different character, and that's the problem. Do you know why Curb Your Enthusiasm is so good?
Because it's famously in interviews he always says there's real Larry and TV Larry, but TV Larry's still a Larry. Yeah, he's playing.
It's
sort
still
of
Larry.
himself.
It's Larry David. He's not playing exaggeration and authenticity aside. He's playing Larry David. That's how he sounds. You listen to how people talk about him in interviews, and it's like, this is a real guy. He made a whole television show in the 90s about, like, the maddening things he does. And it's like, okay, Larry, what's your new idea for a show? Let's do the guy who invented the telephone doing a Larry David thing.
Okay, well, to his credit, it was Obama's idea. And
That's
not his.
Must be mentioned. Barack Obama is the MC of the show.
It's
almost
true. Yeah.
No,
Does
so
Obama
he introduced
love
it.
SNL?
He introduced it, and then who I thought was Samuel Jackson, was the sort of MC.
No, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about producer-wise. The company that produces the show is Barack Obama's company, who wanted to do a show to celebrate the 250th anniversary of those states united. And the only idea that Obama came up with was, can we call Larry David, from my understanding? And they did. And I guess then the show sort of happened because of that.
I guess he's not up to much. He looks a bit older.
He's getting on the years. No, but I agree. I mean, the Rosa Parks ones, because but that's a character he's playing. And it's not Alexander Graham Bell doing the cringiest bit I've ever seen in my life. Because the Alexander Graham Bell, the problem with that one isn't even the telephone bit. It's the preceding emotions of it, where there's these people in the audience going, and the 18 whatever is going, oh, can we make it different colors? Can we add a ring? Can we have different rings? Can we make it vibrate if we're in a piano recital? And like, I get it, the power of hindsight, but this is the first telephone. It wasn't like it's not even a cell phone. It's not the first cell phone. It's the first telephone, fixed telephone. And it's like,
even in the Declaration of Independence bit, it was like, these things could conceivably happen in 1770, whatever. And then it's like, the phone. Let's have him get into an argument with Richard Kind, which is funny, but it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and I feel
like wait a minute, multiple skits like a week. Whoa, it is SNL.
Yeah, No, it is. But I mean, at least they had like a whole year or whatever. And I mean, at least the production value is really good. I mean, the World War One skit that one's pretty good. I like
Oh
that.
God, I
Well, it
forgot
also
about
is-
the World War One skit. Completely memory hold it from my brain.
Really? No, I thought that was pretty good.
Abs-
I mean, the
I-
final bit where he like the guy wants him to deliver the letter, and he's just like, and
That's the
then
thing. I don't even think it was that bad. I just completely memory hold it. I genuinely thought it went Declaration of Independence and Alexander Graham Bell, Rosa Parks.
no, yeah, there's a whole
I did just-
there's a whole other thing. Yeah, I
Went
think.
out.
Well, you haven't watched The Bear yet, right?
I haven't watched the bit. No.
But
that's
you
that's
have
a-
you have watched just not the last season.
I've seen up to season 4. I haven't seen the Gary Indiana special.
Could I get you? Isn't it crazy, Gary Indiana? You know, I get so angry because Michael Jackson ruined Gary Indiana to me, and this is a really bizarre thing. But you know, my favorite film and maybe musical of all time. Not maybe, definitely musical, but maybe favorite film of all time. Name of the Music Man has a whole song.
Music Man.
They have a whole song about Gary, Indiana, and nobody ever mentions it because they forgot. Because Michael Jackson is from Gary, Indiana, so that's like the fun fact they decide to go with instead of the cool song. Anyway, could I would you agree with the people who don't like season 3 and 4 of that show?
I've seen you. First of all, I just want to preface saying that I like The Bear. I haven't had these downturns that some people have had. I watched season 3, 4, and I went, this is great still. I read people talk about how they feel about these most recent seasons of The Bear. I mean, maybe they don't mention it because it's like a subconscious, like whatever. But you know, their criticism is like, really again.
What?
They have this notion that it's like, are we really doing this again? Like as if like something's repeating and repeating, and it's sort of like stakes lifted and sort of like almost like a pancake in a frying pan, you know, lifted up, sort of flipped over, and it's taken back down to be done again. I get the sense from reading what people say that it's like, this is repetitive. We're doing this again. It's sort of the charm has worn off. That's what I've read anyhow.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that, and that's bizarre.
God, I forgot to mention it, but I think the other big reason people don't like it, and I said this before, I had a revelation like in the middle of the night after watching The Bear. It was like, oh my god, I know why people don't like it anymore. Because much of Twitter discourse in The Bear is about shipping characters together, and especially Sid and Kami.
Oh yeah. Is that so?
So many.
Is that why? What's his name? The Natalie's husband. I always forget his name.
I don't remember his name. But
Anyway, you know the character.
he's a cool dude.
Yeah, the cool dude.
A bit feckless, but like a generally nice. Cool
Yeah,
dude.
there's a bit in the show where someone asks him, "Oh, are they a thing?" And he goes, "There's theories, but I don't think so." Is that a nod to that? Are we doing? Are we doing like fandom like references in?
There's literally there's a reference in the show. I think it might even be the final episode, but in season 5, it's like there's one scene I remember. It was like there was a guy who came in and they was like asking like, "Oh, is like Sid and Kami a thing?" It's like, "Oh, but there's rumors of it, but we don't know." And it's like very obviously like, no, they're not a thing. They're sort of just baiting and making fun of the people that keep wanting shipping of the characters. And I watched another very modern show that's still going on. Its final season is coming soon. And that show is Industry. It is a British show. And I watched that whole show. Every single character in that show fucks each other. Every single one. They all get a relationship. They take it to an extent that they make one of the characters a closeted homosexual in the most recent season, just so he could fuck another male character that he has a close relationship with. If they are linked whatsoever in the plot together, they have to have a relationship with them, and it feels like a degradation in our medium where there's like a demand for more than it's like we're going back to the 90s or like Friends. It's like will they, won't they? Like, are we kidding ourselves?
Fucking How I Met Your Mother crap.
Whoa, that's a fine show. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's a fine show. No need to get
Which I
aggressive.
surprises me that there's Twitter shipping over this, because if I was stepping into the Twitter ship mindset, I would say, like like what Sydney got her start as like Carmi's employee. It's problematic actually. He's in a position of power over her. Yeah, you're cancelled.
No, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
No,
As
no,
long
no,
as
no,
they get
it's-
together.
And also, fruit bat. It's straight shipping. That's a whole other ballpark. It's a whole other ballpark. And
Whole other
yeah, if in certain circles it would be what you're saying. In this circle, bro, anything goes.
Anything
These
goes.
people are feral, and I don't mean Will. And I don't mean Will. man.
I don't mean well, baby.
And this is one of the few shows that have characters like actually say to each other like I love you, but it's not in a romantic way whatsoever. It's one of the few shows that actually do that, where they just are able to say that casually.
Yeah, and it's
And
very,
it
it's
doesn't-
very like real in the way they do it, and it's a powerful world. But it's very American sort of. Like you feel very. It's a very American thing. I feel to do that, and it's very beautiful, and it's like it warms my heart and puts a bunch of a fuzzy feeling in me. That was really gay. I'm sorry. Please continue.
A warm and fuzzy feeling right in my chest, right in my heart, where my heart lives.
What?
You know, man, is TV doing better than games?
No.
Why do you say so?
I don't know. I just feel like we got a lot of bad games news, and now it's like.
Oh no, it hasn't been. I mean, TV. It got put the fist up the arse like a while ago. With
Yeah, I
the
was
streaming
gonna.
services.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, right, the
Yeah,
stream,
like,
the money.
it's not that they're
It's
doing better.
TV's great if you can afford it. Well, most things are great if you can afford it.
No, that's not even what I was gonna say. Like, it's not that it's good. It's that it started becoming bad 10 years ago. So that sort of news was 10 years ago and not like now. Anything else you want to add, Mr. Feedback, before we end the show?
That IRA guy was talking about Daria. Either of you seen Daria? I love Daria. It's my favorite MTV show, Daria. I love
MTV
Daria.
show?
Daria Morgan Durford, Jane Lane, Daria.
Well, I gotta remove him because his favorite MTV show might be Daria, whatever that is. But my actual favorite MTV show, do you know what it is?
Your favorite TV show?
No, MTV show. He
Oh,
said
your MTV show.
Yeah.
Oh, God knows. Why do you think I would know?
My favorite MTV show is MTV Cribs, and let me show you the crib right now. Here's the studio set
my.
right here. There we have Fricka sat down. Fricka, say hello to the camera.
I'm not saying hello to the
Please
camera.
say hello to the camera. Look how cool
I'm not
this
saying
is.
hello to the camera.
Look
I'm
how
not saying
cool
hello
this
to
is.
the.
Oh, look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Oh my god! Oh my god! He's starting to shoot up. Man, we've really just lost the plot with these, haven't we?
säga,